Robert. So when it comes time, you can read it to the group. Okay? All right, guys, we're gonna transition. Get ready. I'm gonna pass out your peer review sheet. Okay, put your name on it, and then I'm gonna give you your partners right now. Okay, put your name on the very top. Okay, and then before we move on, put the seminar topic. That's going to be flight chapters 18 to 21. You remember what the topic is? Flight chapters 18 to 21. Okay, and then I'm going to let you know who your partner is. Okay, so pay attention, and then you're put their name in the blank. Okay, so Jadlyn and Argel, Wet and Angelica, Glory and Jimmy, Jewel and Drake, Nicole and Ezekiel, Chriselle and Sonia, Meg and Darwin, Alicia and Robert, and Kiri and Archie. Okay? Put the name down. Okay, and then flip your paper over, because before we start, I want you to set a goal. Okay, so you got your feedback yesterday. You know what your grade was last time. Okay, you know where your weaknesses are. So I want you to, I actually put I changed the reflection a little bit. So it says personal goal for today. I want you to set your goal. And if you look on the board, all of these sentence starters have the different portions of the standard. Okay, so you can kind of look up here and be like, okay, I need to work on whichever. Okay, so this is your reminder of what the standard is. The standard's also right in front of you on your paper, the full standard. So my goal today is, and then fill in the blank. What do you want to work on today? Do you want to work on inviting others, building on the discussion? You guys decide, okay? And then I'm going to read the names of the first circle. Okay, whoever your partner is. Remember, we're going to pick up the tables, move them aside. The inner circle will get in the middle, okay? And then partners just behind them. And give them enough space. You don't need to be like directly behind them, right? Give them some breathing room. So let me let you know who the first circle is, and then you're going to get behind your partner. What I want you to do today, you guys, is once you've sat down and your partner's behind you, I want you guys to share your goals with each other so that you know what you're going to be looking for your partner. Are they meeting their goal, and you're going to try to help them get there, okay? Okay, so the first circle is going to be Jadlyn, Wet, Lori, Drake, Nicole, Chriselle, Meg, Alicia, and Kiri. Okay? So again, kick, lift chairs, lift tables, take off the space, and make that circle. Okay, make sure you bring your book, your questions to the middle. Everyone needs a book.
It's not even a circle.
It looks like a deformed oval.
You make good.
Good, I hear people sharing goals, sharing goals.
Okay, everyone ready?
Oh, you have to share goals.
Fly ball.
Say what is
Fly ball. Okay, okay.
And
All right, we're gonna get going. So remember, we're gonna follow what you guys decided was the best schedule. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes today. 6 minutes, 3-minute coaching period, 9 minutes to finish. Okay. Coaches, really listen, okay? Because you want to try to help them with their goal, and you want to try to even listen to the content, so you can say, "Hey guys, this is or this is what's coming up next." You can try to say this and support them. Okay. Outer circle timekeeper. Anyone want to volunteer? Robert, awesome. Okay, and then Jadelyn, you guys, just so you know, she's going to be the leader for this. And she took a picture of the bonus question. So if you guys have time to get there, she'll pull it out and she'll read it to you guys. Okay? Okay. All right, Robert's going to tell you guys when to start.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, so the first question is, compared to how Zitz felt at the beginning of the book, what is the metaphorical meaning behind Zitz getting rid of his pimples? Why does this have a big impact on him? Anyone?
okay. Oh, you can go.
I think the metaphorical meaning behind Zitz getting rid of his pimples is that he thinks that like he will be like changed into a different person, and to support that, and page 180 it says, "A few months from now you'll be brand new," and that's what the new foster parent Mary told Zitz about removing his pimples, and I think it also represents how he'll be like a good person from now.
I agree with Dory because in the beginning, when he had pimples, he was always negative about everything. But now he won't get rid of it, so it's getting like more positive ones.
I also think that the pimples is a metaphor for bad things that happened. And when he said that white people never have pimples and because they have the money to buy the medicine to like take it off. So I also think that those medicines that would take off the pimples are the society and the cops, and they get off the hook because because they're rich and they're white and they're just ethnicities. That's why.
Understand really what you say about like the zits and the pimples being like the bad thing. I agree with that. I would say at first, remember how Zitz would want to hurt people, and that was when he has his pimples. He didn't care about anything or anyone. However, at the ending, he's clean, like his pimples are gone. That's when he realizes he doesn't want to hurt anyone anymore, which means his zits has cleared and went away. And that's when he says his real name.
It's interesting, but I think that like his zits sort of like represent his past, and by getting rid of his pimples, he's sort of like starting over again, and like he's sort of forgetting his past and trying to like make a new person out of himself. And then in page 180, it also says that but I'm beginning to think that I've been given a chance to start over and like forget about his past.
Anyone else would like to go before we change the topic?
What do you think, Alicia?
I agree with Meg because, what if he's just, like, his pimples just represent something, right? Like, since he's been through a lot of rough stuff in his life.
His pain, and like having the medicine is like taking away that pain. So, yeah, that's how the big impact.
Okay, anyone else before we move on? Okay, next question. What does it show about Zit's feelings towards his new foster parents when he tells them his real name, page 180 to 184? I believe that it shows that he's finally opening up. It shows that he is finally happy to be part of the family. However, at the same time, he's scared.
I agree with you that he's opening up because I think one of the reasons is because his foster parents are like related to Officer Dave, and somewhere in the book, like in the beginning, he says that he trusts Officer Dave.
To add on to that, I also think that like since his new foster parents treated him like they cared about him unlike his previous foster parents, I think that's the reason why he was able to trust him.
I agree with all of you guys because he wants to change his life to have a better future.
I agree with what all of you guys were saying, but I think it's like he's sort of like developing more respect towards himself, and because of that, he's gonna be able to like sort of respect his new foster family, and he'll be able to like stay with them longer or maybe forever.
What do you mean by respect?
He's sort of starting to like accept who he is.
He wasn't like very respectful, but now since like he realized like he done bad in his past, he should do better. So that's
Time.
Okay, it's a good place to pause. Okay, so Robert's going to give you, this time you guys wanted more coaching time, so that means that you're going to use it, right? So talk to your buddies. They have 9 more minutes after this, so prepare, give them tips.
You talk more about this, please. I'm gonna say that. You know, it's just no, it's just good if I say it. You know how you like you said he's starting like you said he's starting to respect himself. What if he said like when he's starting to care now because like before what if I say that? Use that as evidence. It's good. He hates himself.
Okay, what about others
Oh, yeah, good.
I want to say that. No.
Oh, we say it. Oh, he's good though. Oh, how much time to school?
Is that it?
Wait.
Only in the middle.
I know you're a camera guy. What is it? I'm gonna be sweet now. Can you talk about these scores for each question, please? You know, all these questions, it's like your opinion. That's the thing, I understand. So you can't really use evidence right They're not permanent yet. Confused, yeah. I've been confused too.
You know how he wasn't able to shoot anyone?
No, yeah, permanent. No, but he shot people, yeah. But he didn't. Just put it could be permanent. So I wanna win it. A minute left. And I need help. So I'm not able to say. If you disagree with an idea or someone's not, just disagree with it so you can talk about it.
Yeah, just
That way, like,
Because you already talked about what you think. You can talk about this and when he invites him in, it's good though. That doesn't. It's good though. It's good. Thing. So. Yeah, you know, for this one, I just say that I put confused too. You got your answers?
Okay, so far so good. I do feel a little rush factor happening. So slow. Try to really dig into every question. You guys have 9 more minutes, right? So that's lots of time, and you have 2 to 3 more questions depending on if you want to do the bonus or not. That's up to you guys. But just keep in mind, it's okay to spend a lot of time on one question. That's perfectly acceptable. Okay? All right. Robert's gonna tell you when.
Ready? Go!
This is great. I had a question, but then someone stopped me. Which foster parents in the past was
I think it was that foster family with that dad that like bought him a plane.
Yeah.
And they were, like, flying
the
around.
with the anger issues? Sorry.
But then, like you got kind of scratched over the bottom.
True, but he was still nice in a way.
He bought like everything. He bought everything for him. That's a lot.
Anyone else would like to add on to this?
In the beginning of the book, in general, there was like a family, the family that he like stayed with. The mom was like sort of nice to him, and then the dad just said good morning, but then he completely ignored him. So then the dad sort of got aggravated, and then it's sort of his fault for that.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's
like,
true.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the foster family that he ran away from
Yeah.
and like swore.
To add on what you're saying, remember like on his previous parents, when he said whatever, and then the parents were like really, the foster parents were like really mad. But when you see when Zitz was in Dave's new foster family, like when he said whatever, they didn't get mad towards him. They just like treated him like with respect.
And they understood.
I thought she was asking him what
But he said whatever, but they didn't like react like they're
Yeah,
outraged.
after the what's his name? The Dave. No, the other guy. The firefighter guy.
Dave's brother.
Robert. When Robert told him good morning, and then after, although he said good morning, he asked Zitz if he wanted to go to the baseball game instead of hitting that. Anything else? No. Okay, the third question. After going through a long-winded journey of self-discovery through living the lives of multiple people, how would you feel if you found out that it might not have been real? How does Zitz feel about it?
I think he was sort of relieved that he was given a second chance to do things. Because you know how he sort of like, he started to regret everything he did once he did it. So he sort of really relieved that he was given a second chance to have another opinion about whether or not to actually shoot people.
Oh.
Could somebody tell me what the question is?
What do you mean?
Like,
I don't understand.
like, is it like that he passed the time or that he's not like go back in time? Or what are
Oh,
we
the
trying to
question.
answer?
The question is asking like what, like the whole type of what if it wasn't real? Like what if he didn't really time travel? It was just all in his head.
Without justice.
Yeah. I think I would be disappointed about it not being real, but thankful for the lessons it taught. And I think that Zitz would feel raged or crazy that it wasn't real, but he would also feel grateful for the lessons the journey has taught. And on page 162, he says, "I learned a valuable lesson, but I don't know what the lesson is."
I agree with you, but I'll still be if I was there, I was still confused on how how would that happen in like seconds.
Oh yeah, because in
Yeah.
the film that they watched, he was only away for a few seconds. Giselle, do you have anything to say about
I would be awkward if I go to another.
what would you feel if it was real? If you went through that journey for nothing and it was just not real. Yeah.
I feel as though if I were to go through that journey, I'd be very grateful, like how Meg and Jadlyn said that for the lessons it taught me, I had to be pretty confused of what happened and like. So on page 162, it says, I don't understand how time works anymore. So he's kind of saying like he doesn't understand because like what she said in the video, like he was only gone for a couple of seconds and he just doesn't understand it.
I agree with you all, and I think I would also be like confused at first, but I would also be like the lessons that like Zitz learned. I think that led him to making a decision on whether he should or should not kill people on the bank. To support that, on 162, 163, it says maybe you're not supposed to kill, no matter how good or bad the reason. Maybe you're supposed to believe that all life is sacred. So I think that's the reason why he chose not to kill the people in that bank.
Drake, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I do. I agree with Meg because I would be relieved too. And on page 157, it says, when I open my eyes, I'm standing in a bank in downtown Seattle. So that means he's back home and he doesn't have to go through the nightmare he went through with Yes.
To add on to what Drake said, I think it would be pretty weird out because he doesn't know how he learned his lessons because you shot the guy, then so you feel like you got shot, and you go back in time and learn something, but then you go back to your body, but you're still alive, and that's like weird.
I agree with with all of you guys because while this was traveling through body to body, it's like when he was traveling from body to body, he knew he wasn't the only one going through so much pain, and like what you guys said, he's like grateful for the journey he took, even though if it wasn't real or not.
What do you think?
I agree with all of you guys. I would feel shocked because I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it could be a lesson for me that life goes on. Zitz would feel confused because he thought he killed lots of people in the bank, but when he came back as Zitz, he realized that he did not kill anyone. On page 157, I did it before, a long time ago, a little while ago, a second ago. I don't understand how time works anymore.
Anyone else would like to add on before we move on? Okay. Last question. On page 161, Zitz says, but I am tired of hurting people. I am tired of being hurt. How does this relate to Zitz turning himself into the police? To be honest, I kind of had a difficult time understanding the question. Does anyone have an answer?
I guess Zitz wanted to seek for help because he knew he was troubled with drugs, violence, and all other negative things, and I think he just needed to, to change himself. And on page 162 it says, I need help. I walk until I see a police car, and yeah, that explains it.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but I think it's more like he sort of wanted to relieve himself of like guilt and sorrow that he was feeling towards the actual events and things that happened.
Yes, I agree with you, Meg. How Zitz relates to how Zitz relates to turning himself in because it shows that when he's just done and tired of hurting people and just himself hurting, and when you're hurting you need to turn yourself in, so turn yourself in for the wrong things you've done so you can start healing. Like you have to relieve the past and all the bad things you've done so you can start relieving yourself for
Okay.
All right, we're gonna stop there just for so the other circle has time. Before we move on, comment for each category if you're a peer. Okay, nobody move. And then I'm gonna pull. We're not gonna have time to go around to everybody. Okay, so we're just gonna maybe pick. Hopefully 3 volunteers. Observations about how the conversation went. Okay. Remember, no names. Make it general. I observed that the conversation. Fill in the blank. Okay. Okay. Outer circle observations. Anyone want to volunteer? What are they noticing? Yes, Jewel.
I noticed that everyone has spoke more than one time, and I really like that because it shows that everyone like enjoys participating and really wants to respond with their opinions.
Good. Okay, someone else? Observations? Yes, Sonia.
I liked how they just kept the conversation going, and they also invited others, so the conversation won't die down.
Okay, awesome. One more observation. What are we noticing? Yes, Ezekiel.
I like how when we had that period, what is that called? That thing. After that, they still got back to the same question, and they didn't just pause it and start moving the question.
Okay, good. Yeah, I agree. All the things that you guys said. Positive that everyone spoke. I see citing. I heard page numbers coming out. Inviting others. I heard follow-up questions. So you guys are doing these things like the clarify. Can you clarify what you said? I heard somebody say that. That's really awesome. Okay. Challenging. I think we could do a little more of that. There was a lot of agreeing, right? We saw the agreeing happening. I agree with what you say because, which is awesome. Okay. And then I do have a couple content things I do want to pick up on, but I want the other group. I'm going to let the other group go, and then we'll kind of touch on some more things. One thing I do want to see, though, this group, is when there's a page number, when someone says a page number, what should you do? Yeah, you guys should open your books, right? Because sometimes you can hear it and you're not really hearing or processing what they're saying, and you might have something to add that's different when you actually see it, okay? So I should see books open when someone says a page number, okay? All right, let's switch. And outer circle timekeeper volunteer. Timekeeper outer circle. Okay, thank you, Jadlyn. Okay, so it's up there on the board, 6 minutes. Okay, and then again, we're not doing warnings. You just let it go. Like Robert did a really good job. And actually, just to point out how well Robert kept time, because I'm sitting right here next to him, he didn't say right away time, like to interrupt you. Actually waited till you guys finished and then said time, right? So that's really Jadlyn, just to take that as a tip from Robert, who did a good job. Okay, so Robert is your leader again. He's gonna do the questions, and he has the bonus question on his phone if you guys get to that as well.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, sorry, we're gonna wait for Jadlyn to say go. Okay.
Compared to now, this at the beginning of the book, what is the metaphorical meaning behind this getting rid of his pimples? Why does this have a big impact on him?
I think the metaphorical meaning about getting rid of his pimples is to just forget the past, to forget the things he did, and to start new and fresh, and leave the bad things behind. And on page 180 it says, a few months from now, you'll be brand new. That just gets me in the soul. Right there, I start to cry.
I agree with what Ezekiel said because I think the metaphorical meaning behind Zitz getting rid of his pimples is like a new beginning or a fresh start at life. This has a big impact on Zitz because he finally gets to have something he wanted for a long time, which is to be loved and to have a family that cares about him. Like on page 173, he states that he might be unlovable, but then on page 180, he says, but I'm beginning to think I've been given a chance. I'm beginning to think I might get lonely. I'm beginning to think I might have an almost real family.
Okay, pause real quick. Sorry, guys. Just to make this work better. When you say a page number, pause. Okay, that way everyone has time to get there. Okay, so you guys are all like trying to get there, right? Really fast. Okay, so pause, give them time. Okay, and then they can look. Okay, sorry, Joel, go ahead.
I agree with the both of you, and I feel as if the pimples that Zitz had in the beginning of the book could be represented could have represented Zit's life, rough and ugly. So when he gets the chance of getting rid of his pimples while with his new family, he gets emotional because it's like he's getting rid of all the bad habits that he does so that he is able to start fresh and new. This could also be why he now wants to be called Michael. For example, on page 4 in the beginning of the book, he states, I wonder if loneliness causes acne. Then, compared to the end of the book on page 180, like Sonia said, he states here that I'm beginning to think that I might get unlonely. So it shows that in the beginning he was lonely, but through the end of the book he began to feel loved again. So that's why he wants his pimples gone, because it shows that he's no longer alone.
While it's good to see that, I don't really think it's that complicated. On the very first page, he says, call me Zitz, and my real name isn't important. But at the end, his real name is important, as he wants to be called Michael. Now that just shows that he's becoming a new person, because Zitz are what he uses to describe himself, and now he's getting rid of it.
Angelica, do you have anything to add on to that?
I agree with all of you, like how the Zits represent the bad in him. And like, so after like he's finally getting rid of it, he's becoming a new person.
Angel, do you have anything to add to this?
So, the metaphorical meaning behind Zitz getting rid of his pimples is a new appearance for a new start in his life or a new chapter. He is changing up his attitude towards things and people. His foster parents are polite people, so to remind him that everything is going to be okay, he gets his pimples, which represent his past, removed from him.
You look like you're dying to say something, Jimmy. You would like to say?
Well, I agree with all of you because it sits on Zitz's face, on Michael's face. He has like he's holding his past and he's still remembering his past. And when Mary gave the cream to Zitz, it was like cleaning up his past and forgetting his past and moving on to the future.
Does anyone else have anything to say before we move on?
Next question. What does it show about Zitz feeling towards his new foster parents when he tells them his real name? I think it establishes trust between Michael and his two foster parents. I agree with Robert because he trusts his new foster parents because like when that fireman approaches it, he didn't get mad. He offered him a baseball game to watch, and Mary tried to help them with this problem. I took care of his skin problem, and then on the page. On page 180, it says, she hugged me tightly. I feel great. I haven't been hugged like this since my mother died. It feels like he has a family now.
Just in time. Yeah. Okay. barely heard you. Okay, guys, 3 minutes. Real quick. Guys, real quick. Listening. Pause. If you have a tip like cite page numbers, be specific and try to help them with their next questions. Like, do you have page numbers, and try to help them with that. Be specific about your feedback. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll do that. I'll take you my ideas. But that one, I didn't have any pictures. I agree. After going through a lot, like what I said, why would you feel found out who cares? If I found out that it was something like, who cares?
Find out what his next points are going to be.
Page 158 says, baby, I've been standing here for hours in a second trying to decide what I'm I would this and I would know it would be real. No, yeah, but it's fine. I said something. I'm fired. Okay. Listen.
I put them on backwards, so this one's in the back.
You know, I'm really shy. Yeah, you talk to you too.
Yo, are you not listening? You know, for third and fourth question, you want to use what did you write for the third question?
I would. Yeah. I was so nervous.
Just make a note that there's something on video.
Where? I don't like camera.
Or you didn't say he didn't know that it's not happening. What just happens he just looks down on
He didn't really know what happened.
Yeah, he didn't know what time it was.
He was traveling through bodies. It takes us. I try to hurt people. Oh, good.
All right, we're gonna get going here.
That would be my hope.
Jalen's gonna give you 9 more minutes. Okay. So once again, take your time on the questions. You're doing good. Better at pausing with the page numbers, opening books. That's good. Okay, Jalen.
Yeah, I agree with you too, you and Robert. And it shows that this fighting movie has people to trust and that he can finally call 2 people his family. And on page 180 it says, but I'm beginning to think I've been given a chance. I'm beginning to think I might be unknown. I'm beginning to think I might have an almost real family.
I agree with what Ezekiel, Jimmy, and Robert said because I think Zitz feels very happy towards his foster parents when he tells them his real name because they show that they care about him, unlike his previous foster parents who just abused him and didn't really pay attention to him.
I agree with what Sonia said. Zitz obviously feels safe and trusts his new foster parents enough to tell them his real name. He's never had anyone who cared for him in a long time, so he opens up and tells them his real name. He'll soon maybe tell them more things. On page 180, the textual evidence I used was, I'm happy, I'm scared too. I know the world is still a cold and cruel place. I know that people will always go to war against each other. I know that children will always be targets. I know that people will always betray each other. I know that I am a betrayer, but I'm beginning to think I've been given a chance. I'm beginning to think I might get unlonely. I'm beginning to think I might have an almost real family. So, yeah.
I agree with all of you guys, but to add on, I think that when he's properly introducing himself to Robert and Mary because he actually wants to become part of their family. Unlike his old foster families, he didn't really properly introduce himself, and he never really said his real name to his old foster parents. So that probably shows that he doesn't really trust them as much. But when he tells Robert and Mary his real name, it's like showing that he does trust them and he's willing to become part of the family.
I see what all of you guys are saying, and yet I believe that he believes that they are good people. So the reason why he tells them his real name instead of his nickname is because he wants to fit in with the rest of the family. While Mary is trying to get him to like get rid of his pimples, why would they still call him Zitz if he doesn't have pimples anymore? So in that way, like with Michael, at least he would have a normal name and people won't question why his name is Zitz and such.
To build on that, you can see how he's changed over the course of the story, as the first 3 sentences on the first page is about his name being Zitz, and the last 3 sentences on page 181 are how his name is Michael.
I agree with Arjun on that. I didn't really notice that till now. I thought it was very interesting. Arjun, what did you say?
On the first page, on the very first page, the first 3 sentences are about how his name is Zitz. And on the last page, 181, the last 3 sentences are how his name is Michael.
So like with that information, you can see like how the story progressed and how Michael changes. Does anyone have anything else to add on to that?
After going through a long-winded journey of self-discovery, reliving the lives of multiple people, how would you feel if you found out it might be not real? How does Zitz feel? If I found out that it's not real, I think me and Zitz would feel confused because on page 158, it says, maybe I've been standing here for hours, minutes, seconds, trying to decide what I should do. Me and Zitz would doubt that would be real.
I agree with Robert. I see what you're saying. Well, I don't really agree with you, but in my opinion, I would feel happy that it's not real, to be honest, because the whole concept of traveling into another person's body makes me feel scared, and it makes me think like, am I cursed or like, am I not human? Because scientifically, it is impossible. And I think Zitz, at the end, he felt kind of confused, like you said, to how it wasn't real. But I think he also feels a little bit relieved too, because that way he doesn't have to go into explanation on like what he did, like why it actually like stopped recording like the video.
I think Zitz would feel really mad / confused because he had to go through so much things for nothing and almost risk other people's lives because he was in their body. But I also think that he would also feel as though it is a life lesson.
DJ, what do you think about this?
I agree with Robert, like how he said, I would feel confused. This would also feel confused. But then again, like, happy, kind of, because like going through that journey, you can realize like what kind of person he was, like, he wasn't really a bad person.
I think that I would feel happy because like before he went to another person's body, he shot people in the bank, and then when he came back to the bank, he's like, oh, I never shot anyone. So, like, I was so happy because I had a chance to like restart that couple seconds.
I agree with everyone who spoke, but I think I would be tripping out first, and then, like, what in the world? But I'll be thankful because I'll finally understand why things happen, and I'll see how bad situations go and see things from a different perspective and how other people are suffering in different ways. Would you have anything to say?
Well, while it's understandable that people would think that he'd be grateful, I don't think he'd be confused, or I don't think he is confused, as on page 166, when the detective says that his disappearance doesn't really matter. He just accepts it and says that he's probably right.
What page is that?
166.
Like, people want to share their opinion or.
At page 161, it says, but I am tired of hurting people. I am tired of being hurt. How does this relate to Zid's turning himself in to the police?
Sorry, does anyone want to jump in just for that one?
Okay. I think this quote relates to Zitz turning himself into the police because he wants to change and he probably realizes that he can't do it alone. So therefore, like, he goes to someone he respects, which is Officer Dave, like on page 162. He says, Zitz says that, like, I need help. And then on page 163, he says, like, it's like he's begging for Officer Dave to take the guns away from him. So he said, like, please take them away.
Okay, we're gonna pause there because we're close to, we gotta wrap up. Outer circle, remember comment for each section. Okay. And then we're gonna get observations, general observations about how the discussion went. You can even compare to your own, right? Because you guys just talked. So, outer circle people want to volunteer observations. What did we notice? Yes.
I like the way how they invited one another so they could keep the conversation going.
Okay, good. Other observations? Yes.
They did great on their discussions, but they should try to invite the people who haven't spoken yet.
Okay. More inviting. Okay, yes, what?
Some of them should speak more, and then without other inviting them, they should speak more.
Okay, good. Anything else? Okay, rubric-wise, how did the whole class do on volume today? Do you think you could hear everyone all the time? Outer circle, could you hear everyone all the time? And then vice versa, right? So volume is a big deal. I think we need to continue to work on that. It's just being louder, okay? But let me point out some positive things, and this is for everybody, okay? So I'm really impressed. Yesterday I put up the Common Core standards for reading, right? And it said that you guys need to be able to look at specific word choice and determine the effect of word choice, right? So you guys spent a really long time just talking about word choice as far as Zitz versus Michael, and you traced going beyond that syntax patterns, right? Looking at the first few sentences of the book and then looking at the last few sentences and noticing, oh wait, he did that on purpose, right? And then you guys are all having these aha moments. I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that. That's really impressive. And then I like how you guys tracked the imagery. So you were talking about how in the beginning of the book he described himself as being rough and ugly and having zits, right? And at the end, you guys pointed out the imagery changing, right? You said things like he was describing himself as brand new and wanting to be clean, right? So we're really noticing that the language and the structure of the text, you're seeing that that's purposeful, that we're seeing the change through the word choice and the structure that the author decided to use, which is great because we're looking at his style, okay? As far as feedback, I think volume needs to be worked on a little more, and then I think we can kind of work on maybe making it a little more natural, right? There was moments of it being natural, like when you guys were, oh, whoa, looking at the sentences, and you were naturally responding to that. And I think it's great. You guys are very well prepared and reading, but it'd be nice to see us a little bit more natural. We'll kind of work on that. Maybe talk about that as far as what we can do as a class to make that happen next time. Get your guys' input, okay? So what we're going to do today, last 5 minutes, okay? We don't have much time. Let's move the desks back, okay? And can you, wait, let me finish, because this is going to be the rest of the instructions for the rest of the period. I want you to give your peer the feedback, okay? Give it to them, let them see it, okay? And let's get all the desks back, and then I'll explain what your homework is, okay?
Oh my God, that she called you Jimmy Gino.
Okay, remember to lift desks, don't drag. Okay, all hands on deck here, chairs back, tables back, don't drag chairs. Don't drag your chairs.
Miss Louie,
I'm going to explain in a second, let everyone settle down.
That's what Jill's was. That's what Jill's was. Not by herself.
Where does she sit? That's not mine. Okay, in a chair, and then I'm actually going to explain the reflection part because it's a little different than last time, okay? And this is not going to be due before the bell rings because we don't have very much time, and I want you guys to really think about this, okay? So, Jimmy chair, I'm going to go over. Okay, so everyone flip over and look at the back. And this will be your homework. I'm not going to collect it till Monday because you guys have a field trip tomorrow, okay? So you're going to, again, as usual, did I meet the standard today? Reflect on that. Think about it. Think about these things. Which areas could you work on next time? And then I actually added a part. Okay, I said, how did this discussion add to your understanding of the text? Be specific about what was mentioned or asked that got you thinking in a new way. Explain. For example, I never thought about. So remember all of you guys with that aha moment with the beginning and the end sentences? That could be something you talk about. Something that actually you hadn't thought of before that your classmates helped you learn. Okay, so I don't want to see general. I thought my classmates said things I never thought about. I want to know specifically what they said that made you think in a new way. Okay? That's the added part. Everything else is the same. Okay? Ideas for next time? Maybe we could think how brainstorm ideas. How can we get this a little more natural sounding? Okay, you guys have any ideas? You're going to put that in there. If you don't, that's okay. Just think of general ideas for class improvement for next time. Okay? So work on this till the bell. It will be due on Monday.
And then the whole time he was just like, over here.
The last one we did for flight. 5 through 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to get the paperwork, and then you're caught up, okay? Alright, have a good day. I will see you tomorrow on the front lawn. Wear maroon or white, or your pink class shirt, if you can.